Gonna go on a song and say, verbatim, you still hang with them that done got your partner whack? Okay. So you got 21 Savage on your album, and then 21 Savage get on the album and say, get him smacked, then turn around and give his brother down. So he dissing your partner on your album. Probably said it in the studio with you.
Picture this. Your day one brother, the one who's been with you since the very beginning, gets taken out on the interstate, and later you find out that someone you thought was a friend in the industry had a hand in the whole thing. That's the exact situation that unfolded between the rising star Ace and the street-certified heavyweight Rico over the murder of Ace's best friend Mello, and ever since then the streets haven't stopped whispering. Today, we're breaking down how Rico allegedly lined up the play against Mello, why the streets felt Mello's time was up, and how the city's top boss, Young Crown, had to intervene before things cracked into a full-blown war zone. Stick around, because this story goes way deeper than what people see on the surface, and the street politics behind all of it are wilder than most can imagine. First, you gotta understand the bond Ace and Mello had. They weren't just collaborators who linked up for clout. These were two brothers who grew up in the same trenches, came from the same gritty blocks, and survived the same struggles. Both were raised in the rugged West Side, one of the city's most infamous zones, and their loyalty ran deeper than any industry connection. When they signed to the same label around the same time, everybody thought they were about to blow up side by side. But that's where the tragedy started, because while Ace's career took off like a rocket, Mello's music didn't catch the same spark. According to people close to their label, since Mello's career wasn't generating big numbers, he stayed tied to the streets, just trying to maintain the lifestyle his circle was leveling into. Ace did everything he could to help him, got him a deal, locked him in the studio, put him on tracks, pushed him to leave the block alone, but Mello couldn't shake the life he came from. Even with a deal and a major co-sign, he stuck to hustling, handling business in the neighborhood, and staying connected to the crews he grew up with. That loyalty to the streets, even with a legal way out, was what eventually put him on a collision course that sparked the whole situation with Rico. What most outsiders never understood was that Mello wasn't just playing tough for the image. He had real status long before rap. He was tied to a crew called PFK, also known as Triple L, a faction connected to the Goodfellas syndicate. He wasn't just moving product. According to the streets, he handled serious business for his set and made sure people respected his name. One of the biggest incidents that put him directly on Rico's radar was the rumored hit on a high-ranking Goodfellas member known as Nuke. Nuke wasn't a nobody. He was fresh out after doing major time and had deep ties to Rico's circle. The story goes that Nuke was messing around with Mello's baby mother, and Mello wasn't tolerating that level of disrespect. Word spread that Mello allegedly put the call in and had Nuke taken out. That move supposedly sealed Mello's fate because Nuke's people expected retaliation, and Rico's camp wasn't going to let it slide. To understand how the hit unfolded, you gotta know about a young enforcer named Baby Steel. Steel was hungry, both for street stripes and for rap recognition. He moved with Rico's 4L-type crew and had a reputation for proving himself in ways most people couldn't even imagine. When Rico allegedly put a bounty on Mello's head, Steel saw it as his moment to climb the ranks. After Mello's death, Steel even used the rumors to boost his rap persona, dropping bars about taking out his biggest op at 17 and hinting at the highway situation that claimed Mello's life. The story says that on July 11th, 2020, after Mello left a reunion in his old neighborhood, Steel and his crew followed him onto the interstate and opened fire, sending his car crashing and ending his life. Steel would later get arrested in an unrelated murder case, reinforcing the image the streets already had of him. Understanding why Rico wanted Mello gone means understanding the gang politics running through the city. Rico's crew was tied to 4L-style factions and blood-connected sets, while Mello's team, PFK/Triple L, was tied to Goodfellas.
Gonna go on a song and say, verbatim, you still hang with them that done got your partner whack? Okay. So you got 21 Savage on your album, and then 21 Savage get on the album and say, get him smacked, then turn around and give his brother down. So he dissing your partner on your album. Probably said it in the studio with you.
These groups used to be cool with each other. There are even old clips of Rico and Mello hanging out in the 9th Ward, laughing like everything was solid. But once Nuke died, everything shifted. Rico's young soldiers started terrorizing Mello's side, snatching chains, pulling robberies, ambushing rivals. One of the casualties in this escalating back and forth was an 18-year-old hitter from Rico's crew named Mad Rock, who got killed in a drive-by that many believed was PFK's retaliation. From there, the tension spiraled into a cycle where only big names getting removed was going to slow it down. That's when Rico really showed how far the beef had gone, allegedly having a hand in Melo's death and then dissing him on a track that featured Ace himself. The fact that Rico felt bold enough to sneak disses about a dead man on Ace's own project showed how confident he was that Ace wouldn't clap back. It was like he was testing how far Ace would let the disrespect go. Imagine Ace slowly piecing together that someone he broke bread with had a connection to the death of his closest friend. People around the situation say Ace was torn up when he learned about Rico's alleged involvement. He wanted revenge immediately, wanted to go after Rico and his whole camp, but industry politics made things complicated. Both artists were making major money, backed by powerful labels, and an all-out war would have hurt too many pockets. What made it even worse was realizing Rico had been smiling in his face the whole time, doing songs, showing up to events, acting cool, while supposedly knowing exactly how Melo got set up. That's when young Crown stepped in. Crown was always about keeping the city unified, and he'd stopped countless beefs before they spiraled out of control. When he heard Ace and Rico were close to going to war, he got them both on a three-way call and told them straight up they were too big to let street drama wreck the city. He reminded them that the world sees their city as a place where artists uplift each other, not tear each other down, and he told them they could both publicly confirm he was the one who forced peace. Even though Crown calmed things publicly, the streets still knew what really went down. That's why another artist from their circle felt bold enough to later call Ace out in a song, saying he was hanging with someone connected to his partner's death. That line hit hard and confirmed what the streets already suspected, that Ace stayed cool with Rico despite the rumors. People also noticed when Ace removed an Instagram tribute to Melo just minutes after posting it, making folks question whether Ace truly wanted justice or if he was protecting business relationships. One of the biggest signs something changed is how Ace stopped acknowledging Melo publicly altogether. No more birthday posts, no more rest in peace messages, nothing. For someone he once called a brother, that silence spoke volumes. And people around Melo's family noticed too. The whole situation exposed the real politics in the rap industry. Artists who make millions but are still tied to crews at war, and a business where money often speaks louder than loyalty. Commentators pointed out how the situation damaged Ace's credibility. How can you rap about loyalty and standing on business when you still associate with someone rumored to be tied to your best friend's death? At the end of the day, this whole story is about loyalty, betrayal, and the cost of staying connected to the streets while trying to climb in the industry. Ace lost his day one brother, allegedly at the hands of someone he thought he could trust. Rico supposedly had his young hitter carry out the job, then dissed the man afterward. Crown stepped in before the city fell into chaos, but the scars never really healed. The industry kept moving, the money kept flowing, and everyone played their part publicly, but the streets never forgot. And that's why years later this story still gets whispered about, because the way Ace stopped honoring Melo and seemed to move on showed how the industry can bury street loyalty when millions are on the line.